with Sasha, a pregnant woman, getting a sweet surprise with a homemade breakfast and thoughtful gifts. Weeks later, her boyfriend Darren takes her on a trip to a remote, luxurious mansion for a relaxing weekend getaway. May this rich love find me. At night, they relax and Sasha shares her thoughts on their future together, which leads Darren to tell her a bit of his childhood. He sings a song in Portuguese and it piques her curiosity. If he speaks multiple languages, he knows how to use that tongue. She makes a bet with Darren to learn the language just in time before the baby comes. His clause is that if he wins, she'll tell him about what happened in Miami. Seeing her reaction, he changes it to having her say yes to whatever he asks. Girl, what the hell happened in Miami? After that, they have a good couples session workout, creaking the bed, but Sasha taps out last minute since she's worried about the baby. While she's in the shower, Darren uses the opportunity to practice his lines because he finna propose with a microscopic ring. He then heads downstairs and finds the front door unlocked, so he locks it. Then he prepares pasta to treat Sasha to dinner, and when Sasha's done, she catches him dancing goofy. She tells him that the hot water ran out, so he texts the owner to have it checked out. Minutes later, while Darren sets up the table, Eric, the owner of the place, makes a spooky appearance that almost gives Darren a heart attack. As Eric checks the water issue, he tells Darren that the situation messed up his dinner reservations with his wife, and Darren, being so kind, asks him to join them for dinner, and he agrees. While Eric fixes the issue, Darren informs Sasha of their new guests. Sasha wonders if Eric is fine Chet, and Darren says Eric is married, so they dress up and head to the table. To their surprise, they meet Millie, Eric's wife, who greets them like a little hoe. All touchy, Eric joins them after fixing the breaker, and as soon as Sasha spots him, she starts acting uneasy, but Darren doesn't notice it. Oh, I bet Eric broke Sasha's back before. Instead, he introduces her to him, and after exchanging pleasantries, Eric apologizes for the hot water issue. Sasha has something she'd like to tell Darren privately, but when Eric asks if there's an issue, she changes her mind. The couples have dinner and is impressed by Darren's cooking, so much so that even Millie wonders if he's a professional chef. Darren laughs it off and tells them he actually works in advertising as a creative director. Eric, who's in real estate, offers to help the couple buy a house. Sasha, however, keeps brushing off Eric's offer to help them find a place, saying they already have people they can turn to. Curious, Eric asks who these people are. When Sasha gets a bit defensive, he reassures her. He would be happy to connect her people with useful contacts in several states, including Miami. What the hell happened in Miami? Changing the topic, Eric brings out a special white wine, but Sasha declines. Darren steps in to explain that she's pregnant and offers to drink on her behalf. They congratulate her, and when Eric asks about the baby's gender, they say it's too early to tell, as she's only 10 weeks in. Darren asks if they have any kids, and they say no. Eric adds that he once did, a long time ago, and that he and Millie have been trying ever since they got married. Suddenly, Eric's car alarm goes off, so he excuses himself to check it out. Afterward, he goes to the poolside for a smoke, and Darren joins him for a quiet chat. Darren takes a moment to check in on Eric and apologizes for bringing up such a sensitive topic earlier. Though Eric insists it's not a big deal, he admits that having a family has always been a dream of his, especially since he never grew up with one. Eric reassures Darren that he's fine and congratulates him before asking if he's ready for fatherhood. Darren admits he's nervous. Eric calls Darren a lucky guy for ending up with someone foreign like Sasha, and even admits he's a little jealous. Flattered, Darren opens up and tells Eric he plans to propose to Sasha the following night. While the men talk outside, the women chat indoors. Millie mentions that Eric has a certain charm when it comes to winning people over, and Sasha agrees. When the men return, Sasha offers to pour Eric a glass of wine, but accidentally spills it on him. Since it's Eric's house, he heads upstairs to change, and Sasha follows him to wash his clothes. Alone upstairs, Sasha confronts him, demanding to know what he's doing. As Eric changes, Sasha notices that he's carrying a gun and that he also has Darren's phone. She panics and tries to run, but he stops her by pointing the gun at her. He goes to smell her sweat, unbuckles his pants, and is told to pick up his pants. While she's kneeling down, we see a glimpse of his package. And baby, I'm not Cinderella, but I know it'll fit. Meanwhile, downstairs, a drunken Darren is trying his best to fend off Millie's trifling advances. Although he maintains his distance, she keeps pushing, even trying to ride him. Unfortunately for them, Eric and Sasha walk in just as things were getting spicy. Before Sasha can say anything, Eric orders her to get on her knees, something she is used to. Eric insists she has something to confess. Darren, confused, looks at Sasha, who seems to be silently warning him. But when Darren says nothing, Eric switches on the TV and plays a recording of Darren and Sasha being intimate earlier, then reveals that Darren had planned to propose. Darren tries to fight back, but his body won't respond the way he wants. and he realizes his drink was spiked with Ozempic. Millie is visibly shaken by Eric's behavior, but when she tries to object, Eric shuts her down cold with a bullet. Eric then turns to Sasha and demands she confess, or Darren's little pecker takes the next hit. Cornered, Sasha painfully admits that she knew Eric long before Darren ever entered the picture. In fact, they used to date, and Eric had been ready to propose until he found out she was pregnant. Just like Darren, he thought he was about to start a family, but Sasha was into coat hangers and destroyed that dream. Darren struggles to believe it, rejecting Eric's story outright, but Eric gives him a cold reality check, pointing out that Sasha kept their relationship a secret. He warns Darren not to trust someone capable of that kind of deceit. Sasha tries to defend herself, insisting Eric is twisting the truth, but he cuts her off and pushes her to tell Darren about the baby. He reveals that before meeting Sasha, he'd tried and failed to start a family, and after what she did, even trying again with Millie proved hopeless. Sasha had told Eric it was a miscarriage, but over time, he realized it was an abortion. Eric turns full villain, admitting that the entire getaway was a trap. After Sasha posted all of Darren's personal business online, he used that information to lure them in with the cheap house offer. Sasha pleads with him to stop, saying he should let go of the past, but Eric snaps, saying he tried everything and nothing worked. He coolly tells them that he plans to tell the cops they killed his wife in his home, and he retaliated in self-defense. Then, without blinking, he orders Sasha to drink the spiked wine, ignoring her desperate apology. Sasha, in a final jab, tells him not to blame others for his low sperm count, pushing him over the edge. Enraged, Eric points the gun at her and orders her to have the drink. Sasha pretends to sip the wine, then suddenly throws it in Eric's busted face and smashes the glass against him, just as he turns to Darren, who's slumped on the floor. While Eric reels from the blow, she bolts for the front door, but it's locked. Eric charges at her, but she slips away and escapes through the back. Outside, she screams for help and runs, ducking as bullets fly past her. She dives into the nearby bushes, hoping to hide, but Eric shows up from nowhere and knocks her out cold. Meanwhile, Darren drags himself into the kitchen and grabs a knife before stumbling into the bathroom to vomit. He regains himself and rushes outside to find Sasha, but when he sees Eric carrying her back into the house, he hides. Eric brings her into the living room, and when he doesn't see Darren, he assumes he ran off and left Sasha behind. Sasha, struggling to regain herself, tries to talk her way out, pleading for Eric to let her go, but he says this is kink. He accuses her of never loving Darren, claiming she ran to him because Darren is just the cheaper version of himself. Darren may be broke, but I'll take that over ugly and crazy. Eric confesses that he still loves her and asks if she feels the same, but Sasha coldly tells him that she's moved on. Frustrated, Eric duct tapes her hands and feet, and when his car alarm suddenly blares, he walks outside to check it out. The moment he leaves, Darren sneaks in, frees Sasha, and they both run to the bedroom to hide. Darren tells her bluntly that if she wants to live, she has to be ready to fight. He instructs her to hide under the bed while he takes cover in the bathroom, not knowing that Eric is watching him from the CCTV cameras. Eric storms into the room and fires multiple shots at the bathroom door before checking under the bed and dragging Sasha out. As she struggles against him, Darren appears through another door and tackles Eric to the ground. He tries to stab him, but Eric manages to shoot him first. As Darren hits the floor, Eric turns the gun on Sasha, but it's empty. Sasha scrambles for the nearby knife, but before she can strike, Eric slaps her hard, then turns to kick and stomp Darren. He climbs on top of Sasha, trying to stab her, but Darren rushes him from behind and grabs his arms, forcing the knife loose. Then Darren shouts for Sasha to take it, and she uses it on Eric twice, finally ending him. By morning, Sasha patches Darren up, and when she offers to help him walk, he refuses and steps outside alone. She joins him later, telling him she finally got through to the police. Darren silently slips the engagement ring back into his pocket, then asks if there's any chance the baby isn't his. She is shocked and accuses him of not trusting her, saying she'd never cheat. But Darren, still pissed, reminds her that they almost died because of her impulsive ex. Sasha apologizes for not telling him about Eric sooner, saying she was scared and not ready. But Darren cuts her off, telling her she did what she had to do. Then Sasha apologizes again and jokingly promises to stay off social media. Suddenly, she starts bleeding, and in an instant, she flashes back to the morning Eric had surprised her with breakfast and gifts. That was when she told him she wasn't pregnant, but Eric thought she was joking. To prove it, she drank vodka, and when he asked when she lost the baby, she claimed it was recent. There's a post-credit scene in the present. Eric, whom they thought they had gotten rid of, twitched.